Auto, 7 o'clock Tuesday evening, time for some Toy Tuesday. So, looks like Frank is here and ready to go. Buick Man is on. Tonight, we're going to check out some more oil cans, some more Kansas-based companies. So, lots of exciting things happened. I got the truck unloaded from the Lawrence swap meet. Got that done today, so we've got all that stuff to sort through. Going to be bringing you a video on all the stuff that came home with us from Lawrence. Hopefully, you caught the video last night. We shot from the swap meet. And our friends that we got to see there, Jess, her sister, Balin Wire. So, always a great time. So, we're going to be bringing you that content as well. But tonight, I've actually got some stuff that's been piled over here in the corner for about 6 or 8 months that we started on but haven't finished yet. And these are cans from Kansas-based companies. I bought 3 big totes of these, and almost everything in there is from a Kansas-based company. So, that's what we're going to get into kind of tonight. David W. there, Shopcats here. So we're going to start checking some of these out. Some of these are not extremely rare and fairly common cans, but it's still kind of different stuff to check out. So Glenn's here with us. Kenny's on. So we're going to start working through these Kansas-based cans. Some of these are composites. Some of them are, you say they're not that old, but they're probably 70s. There's Wall DC, Billy Bowman. And plus we've got some stuff that is a little bit older and a little bit cooler that we'll work our way into. So, but like I said, everything here is all from somewhere in Kansas, so which is kind of cool, to me at least. Being based out of Kansas, it's always cool finding local or somewhat local type stuff. So let's start working our way through this stack of cans. Bill Wagaman's here, and watch for the ads. That's true. The ads are definitely coming out in force. Unfortunately, there isn't a lot we can do about it other than work around it, but they are definitely there. There's Peter from Down Under. So let's start checking out some of these cans. I'll keep an eye out on comments, and we'll see what kind of fun we can have tonight. We're going to start off with a pair of National cans, National Special Motor Oil, from the Interstate Oil Company out of Shawnee, or on Shawnee Avenue in Kansas City, Kansas. These are green cans. Brian's here. National Special Motor Oil, green cans on a white background. Bill Disc. Now, these, like we said, are out of Kansas City from the Interstate Oil Company. These do have barcodes. They are composite cans, so these are probably early 80s Bay era Kansas City-based cans. Bert's here with us. Now, speaking of the Interstate Oil Company, we've got some more from them. This one, the Interstate Oil Super Heavy Duty Motor Oil. Obviously has a logo very similar to what you would see on an interstate. Obviously, Kansas City, Kansas-based company. Now, this does not have a barcode. Tony's here. So this is a little bit earlier, definitely a 70s era can. This is actually still full for the Interstate Oil Company out of Kansas City. Nothing on the top of this when you hear it sloshing around in there. Still a full can from 50 years ago, probably. Also from the Interstate Oil Company, some Type F transmission fluid. So they were a full-line company. They did a little bit of everything. This one does have a barcode, so probably early 80s. For the Ford type transmission fluid, this one has been drained. From the Interstate Oil Company. Neil's here. Now, also from the Interstate Oil Company, we actually have these interesting cans. There's Big Job. He got his V8 sign and he loves it. Was watching Sunday. Just burned out Saturday night. Yeah, that happens too. I'm glad your sign got there from last month's raffle. And glad you're enjoying it. Big job. Matt's here. I did notice several of you guys did miss Sunday. I figured everybody was pretty busy. But also from the Interstate Oil Company, here's a unique pair. Banks. Transmission fluid banks, Type F and Dexron 2 from the Interstate Oil Company. These do have barcodes. These were 80s era cans probably out of Kansas City, Kansas from the Interstate Oil Company. Just they were banks right from the get-go. Yep, still using Type F in power steering, yeah. Here, we can do that. This next can I thought was kind of interesting. No barcode, so probably late 70s. Numero uno's here. Alco. Alco Premium Heavy Duty Motor Oil. Alco was a department store. I think it was kind of a Midwest-based deal. This can actually was done in Abilene, Kansas, made in U.S. for Alco stores, Abilene, Kansas. Now, we did have an Alco here. I do remember it from when I was a little kid. So I think this was more of a Midwest type deal. Randy's here. So I thought that was interesting because I do remember the Alco stores in our area when I was a kid. Yep, it's original. It's a composite, so it was cardboard, but there's no barcode, so it's probably mid to late 70s on the Alco Premium Heavy Duty Motor Oil. So that's what's great about doing this. I like the Alco can because it reminds me of Alco, and the comments of all the people who are remembering their Alcos, that's perfect. That's exactly why we do this. Now, some of these little grease cans, these are kind of interesting. These little, were they 1 pound grease cans or something? And some of these were very regional and smaller companies. This one, an all blue can. This is like a 1 pound grease can. These are smaller than a quart. About 4.5 by a little over 3. This one, all blue can, fiber bearing grease from the Parker Oil Company in Wichita, Kansas. Now, these blue cans must have been a pretty common deal because I think everybody used them. This one for Dynaplex, enriched moly grade from the Universal Motor Oil Company in Wichita, Kansas. Once again, a basic blue can, nothing else on it other than the fact that it is stamped from the Universal Motor Oils Company in Wichita. Now, one a lot of us have heard, Derby. Special bearing grease, the Derby Refining Company. Whoop, flipped it, or camera flipped on me. Come back, go back. That's interesting. All right, we're going to stay there this time. All right, hopefully it's going to stay there. I don't know what it was doing. Special bearing grease, Derby Refining, Wichita, Kansas. And another one from Derby, special wheel bearing, Derby Refining Company, Wichita, Kansas. And I've seen these in various forms. You know, a lot of them were blue, and they just basically had the company's name stamped right on them. Nothing fancy whatsoever. I don't know. Gray Kitty's in the office. I don't know what this thing was doing. It was just flip-flopping all over the place. This next can is a very interesting one, and it is a metal can for the Permafilm motor oil. Permafilm motor oil from the Quality Oil Company in Topeka. This is a pretty unique can. It is a ribbed can. We have seen some of these in other various forms. But Permafilm motor oil. Big drop of golden oil on it. Quality Oil Company, Topeka, Kansas. Permafilm, the 3,000-mile oil. You need not drain less than 3,000 miles unless you are driving under conditions that create excessive dilution, such as short drives before your motor has a chance to warm up. After your motor has reached a temperature of 140 degrees or over, the dilution in the crankcase is being evaporated. If 3/4 of your driving is with the motor temperature over 140 degrees when using Permafilm, it is a waste to drain less than every 3,000 miles. So something kind of different, 50 cents a quart. So no barcode, metal can, 50 cents a quart. Kind of gives you some idea that there's some age to that one. Another really cool one, and this is another one of the smaller grease cans from Diesel. Oil grease, number 3 cup grease. A Universal product from Universal Motor Oils in Wichita, Kansas. This is also one of the smaller 1-pound grease cans. This is a metal can for oil grease. Another interesting one from the Universal Motor Oil Company in Wichita, Kansas. And this one I am not very familiar with at all. This is a pretty unique can. Doesn't have a ton of graphics. This one is a little bit rough, but I think it is a fairly rare can. For Cano Gold, a Universal product, Cano Gold motor oil. This is a metal can, 1 quart. And this is not a very common can. I don't know a lot about it, but it is not one that you see very often. The drips of golden oil, very basic black and white with gold lettering. Very simple stated, but obviously with the bright gold letters, definitely gives you a feeling of quality in this product. We can see the seam here because this is an original metal can, but very little information about how amazing Cano Gold is. Not a lot of specifics, no specifications, no nothing. Just basically Cano Gold, and that's it. That's what you got. This has been used, but definitely a different can and something that you don't see very often. I'm not very familiar with. Now, another really cool can from Wichita, Kansas. Thought it was Canotex? Yeah. I think Canotex was long gone by then. This can is fair condition. It does have some fading, but it is a fairly rare, fairly desirable can. And that is due to the amazing graphics put on this can by the Security Oil Company of Wichita, Kansas. This was the Wings can. This is a 1 quart metal can for wings with geese on it. You see the clouds, you see the geese soaring for wings. The G drops all the way down here. Wings on the side of the lettering. Wings motor oil from the Security Oil Company, Wichita, Kansas. And that's it. This is a metal can. There's the seam. No barcode, no description. SAE 20 on the top. Outcast made it. Haven't seen Outcast in a while. Glad you stopped by. For wings. This is a great can. I did not have this one. This is, out of these 3 totes of cans, this is one of the ones I specifically was after. Security Oil delivered 275 gallons of DEF to Glenn's place today. Yeah, this one's kind of different. This isn't a real common one. And one more, and this is one of the greatest ones out of here. I do have this can, but this is a great 1 pound can. This is not even a third of this batch. There are about 5 times more cans than this in here. Kevin L's here. So yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg. We've already looked at one tote of these several months ago. This is half of a tote. I've still got the other half of this tote and another full tote of these cans out of this one deal. But the last one that we're going to check out tonight, the last one in this group I had out for tonight, is a great can. It is a Kansas-based can. It is seldom seen. I do have this one as well as some other ones from this company. But it's from a company that was formed in the early 20s and was bought out by Standard in the early 30s. So this can is pushing 100 years old and still looks great on this White Eagle cup grease 1 pound can. Check out the Eagle on there. White Eagle had a refinery in Augusta, Kansas. They did have a couple of other refineries, but they are commonly known as an Augusta, Kansas company. This is one of the smaller 1 pound grease, metal can, original lid on top, a few dents in the lid, but amazing eagles on the side of it. I have not touched this can. This can needs a little bit of polishing, but it will look amazing when it's done. Pushing memory buttons. So this is a great can. This is another one that I spotted immediately when I looked at these totes of cans. But considering, like I said, this is a 20s, early 30s era can in pretty good shape. Now, if you guys remember, White Eagle Stations actually had a cast iron White Eagle just like this out in front of their stations back in the 20s. They are pretty hard to find. They are very sought after. A mobile refinery in Augusta, I'm not sure. I know White Eagle was there up until the early 30s. I don't know what it turned into after that. But I do actually have one of the cast iron White Eagles as well. It's believed that there were about 4,500 of the cast iron White Eagles made back in the 20s, and I have an unchipped, unbroken one in our collection. So White Eagle's a really great company. They had some great cans. I've got some other killer White Eagle cans, but this one here is obviously in great shape. So there we have it. A selection of cans from Kansas-based oil companies. The Snickers bar is next door. I would have to go get it. It's over in the other shop. So we will catch the Snickers bar. I've got a bunch of signs to do that we actually need to work into some Toy Tuesdays. So I will get that worked in with, we got some ice cream signs right over here. So maybe we'll get it worked in when we get those ice cream signs dug out and start checking that stuff out. So, do you have signs to match the cans? In some instances, yes, I do. These, I don't believe I have signs on any of these. But some of them, I do have signs that match cans. So, of course, on the White Eagle, I actually have the cast iron White Eagle to go with that one. But it's over in the other building too, and I can guarantee you we're not carrying it over here. Those cast iron White Eagles weigh, I think, about 250 pounds. So they are kind of monsters. So anyway, that's what we've got for tonight. We got a lot of cool stuff to get into. I was sitting here thinking before I jumped on tonight, I got to make a list of stuff because there is so much that we haven't gotten to yet. Well, for instance, there's another tub of cans right there from Lawrence. Those just came in from the Lawrence swap meet. Ice cream signs over there. There is all kinds of cool stuff that I've been picking up at auctions and swap meets that we need to get into. This batch of cans here, I actually bought in October. and realize that we've still got a ways to go to get our way worked through this batch of cans. So we're going to keep working on it, though. We got a lot of neat stuff to do, and it's a lot of fun. Glad you guys enjoyed it. A lot of great comments about it tonight, about the cans tonight, which is why we do this. We all try to learn a little bit. We all try to contribute and share our knowledge to make everything bigger and better all the way around. So, yeah, it's some pretty cool stuff. So anyway, that's what I've got for tonight. Do we want to do a sign, or do we want to go ahead and skip it? We're already past 20 minutes tonight, so you guys tell me if we want to do a sign or not. Lots of stuff coming up. Holy cow. Since we got on last Tuesday, wherever, most of them aren't even up. I've got some of the really, really, really good cans in the case in the office. Some of the super, super rare ones are in the office. But I've got hundreds of them that aren't even on display yet. So, but man, since we got together last Tuesday, since last Thursday, not only did we do Lawrence Swap Meet, but we bought 8 cars and trucks since last Thursday. So we got a ton of stuff going on. We've got a ton of new inventory to share with you guys. A lot of cool things happening and a lot of fun stuff. So let's do one. So you guys still want to do a sign? So, all right, we'll catch one more sign that's up here hanging on the wall. And check it out. It's pretty high up there, so we'll see how well we can see it. It's a pretty unique sign. I haven't seen it. I don't know that I've seen another one like it. So we'll go ahead and check it out real quick. All right, let's go ahead and kind of finagle some things around here. Get the camera readjusted. Yeah, the dart is inside. If you guys caught the short from yesterday, 1968 Dodge Dart that Dad bought Sunday. That car is crazy solid. Factory V8 car. It's got a lot of stuff going for it. We're going to be definitely bringing you. Dad's working on sorting through the parts. He's got it inside his shop. He's going through all the parts inside of it, trying to sort everything out and kind of get it put back together. So, yeah, you guys did get hit last night in Oklahoma. We got some of it up here, but not as bad as Oklahoma got it for sure. Okay, tonight's sign, this is, like I said, this is a pretty unique one. Not one I've seen a lot of. Does not have a ton of color or graphics, but it's really neat and really unique. So let's check this one out. Here we go. GM Diesel Power. Now, I assume that the shop would have put their name in the white area because there's nothing there. It's blank. There never has been anything there. So I assume that's where the shop could have put their name. Powered by, sold, and serviced by GM, General Motors Diesel Power. All right, are we back on? Okay, we're back on. We lost the signal there for a minute on my end. So, let me get things reset here. So anyway, any idea in the year? I'm going to say it was probably a 60s deal, maybe late 50s. With that yellow on there. Like I said, it's not a real common one. Not one you see very often, so there's not a lot to compare it to, and there's not a lot of information out there about it. Being a tin single-sided painted sign, obviously a lot of them didn't survive, especially if they were supposed to have the name of the shop in it. Back then, most of the diesel stuff was at least medium duty. So I'm guessing, it could have gone either way. It could have been power units, but I'm sure it was at least medium-duty truck because back then, in the era that sign would have been made, it was pretty much had to be at least medium-duty. So anyway, Jim's got his new iPad working. Loader Mike says it was big engine stuff, okay? He knows a little bit more about that stuff than I do. Screaming Jimmy's, yep. So anyway, that catches a sign for tonight, and it is a pretty unique one. Like I said, it does have some fading to the red and things like that. I wish some of that stuff was a little bit better, but hey, at least it survives, and at least it still is there, and it looks great hanging in the shop. So that's always a win. So anyway, that's what I've got for tonight, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, we got the truck unloaded from Lawrence. I got that video shot today. We'll be getting that up. Got to get a video shot on the Dart, obviously. Ooh, tornadoes in Randy's area. So, yep, be keeping an eye out on that for everybody in your area. I got all the stuff I bought last week. I bought an 80 Coupe DeVille today. I got to go get that sometime this week. I got to get up and see Glenn hopefully this week. Just things are getting kind of bananas, but hey, that's what happens. Everybody that has paid from Sunday night, most of that's gone. I've got a couple more that are boxed up here that need to go to UPS that didn't get out yet today. But other than that, most of that stuff is on the way. So thanks for all of that. And with that, stay tuned. We'll get some more of that new content up this week. And I don't know what all we're going to do. I got so much new inventory to shoot. And glad you're back, Dan Willis. Glad you're feeling better. And hopefully everything's going smooth with you. So stay tuned. We'll catch some of that more new content this week. I'm hoping I get at least part of a nice day here sometime in the next few days so I can get some of this new inventory shot. I'm getting way behind. I've got stuff coming in faster than I can get content done. And I definitely want to share some of that stuff with you guys. So stay tuned on that. And we sure hope to see you all right back here 7 o'clock Sunday night for some Sunday night live chat. So thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned. A lot more cool stuff coming up. We hope to see you soon Sunday night.